My name is Leshata Gilbert Malatjie. I'm a husband, married some 25 years ago. I'm the father of 3 kids and working as the campus manager at a Waterberg College, Lebowakgomo campus. Growing up in a village called Chechema is a very rural area whereby most of the information you grow without having, but just knowing deep down in my heart that I wanted, that one I don't doubt, I wanted to venture into a construction. My grandfather was just a bricklayer, meaning a constructor, but he was not working with many people, he was working alone. He will hire one person, or I will go and help him in the construction of houses, 2-3 rooms. That is really what really inspired me most. After completing my matric in 1987, I went to a technical college called Make in Zaneni. That is where I went to pursue a career in construction, and I followed civil engineering. From there, I studied for a period of about a year and a half and completed my N3. That is when I came to a place called Chechema at a technical college called Matlala, which is now known as Capricorn TVET College. After completing my national diploma at a technical college, I was seconded then, and it was an employment itself, to go and introduce technical education at a high school, a very rural high school in the construction field. That is where I really started with the education sector. After my studies, I stayed there with a group, the first group of about 21 learners. I was teaching them bricklaying and plaster, which was my love, actually. I stayed there, and I was even after the first matric, after 5 years, my first matric, they all passed the subject, the bricklaying and plastering. And after a year or 2, I was appointed by the then Lebowakgomo to become a moderator of bricklaying and plastering, which I did for a period of about 10 years. And then moderating a subject, meaning that it is set at the highest level, at standard 10, and I approved that subject. That is where I was an internal moderator for the province. Even if today I'm not a constructor, I am producing a lot of students that are owning a lot of companies. We are maintaining, with my students now, I'm maintaining schools for free, infrastructure for free, because the difficulty we find ourselves in South Africa in maintaining infrastructure. But I design a model whereby my students at the college, we adopt schools to do schools with high infrastructure, to do maintenance during holidays. We maintain their plumbing work, their buildings, we paint, their desk, everything with my students. And that is what is satisfying me nowadays, because I couldn't do that, what I liked most. Now I'm just plowing back with the students at that college. When my daughter was studying at a private institution, you know what? It was very expensive. I was paying traveling, but I struggled to pay the fees. That is where I said Fundi came in from a friend, information from a friend. When she completed matric, she got 5 distinctions. And she was admitted at Wits University, and the fees were very expensive. I remember on the first year, I was needed an amount of about a registration fee of about 30,000 rands. And then I was helped by Fundi then. The worst occurred during that time. My daughter, because it was the first year at the university, Wits University, she was robbed of 4 laptops. Others belonging to to her school classmates. And those people came back to want those laptops. I went back to Fundi. They funded me with 4 new laptops, including her and the laptops that were belonging to other people. It was a very painful experience for me, but I supported my daughter. Through the years, to tell you the honest fact, we were struggling. I never had a bursary. I've paid for her fees, accommodation fees, assisted by the Fundi loan. If you can go, I don't even recall how many loans did I make with Fundi. I don't really recall. But because it was deducted from my salary, I didn't mind. I wanted my daughter to have a peace of mind. She studied at Wits for a period of 6 years. And when she was there, my son, whom I was funding with Fundi again at high school, completed a matric, and he was admitted to a university again. So there were two at a university at the same time, luckily. And I'm still grateful for that. To say, I applied again for Fundi. As I'm speaking now, the other one was to complete. She was doing as a postgrad at Wits, which we call it a CTA. The other one now has been enrolled at a different university, University of Northwest, doing BCom in information systems. And both, because I'm a single father, when I say single father, it's just that my wife was not working. I have to make amends to fund their studies, even accommodation. So it was one of the most difficult part of my life. The biggest challenge, I want to cover the area whereby you are a single father, the wife is not working, and the pain of saying my wife was highly qualified. When I say highly qualified, is because she's serving an honors in BCom accounting and she's unable to be employed. And what I did again, through the Fundi loan, because I wanted to branch into the education sector now, not the financial sector, I have to went back again in pieces. I went to Fundi. I asked for her fund for UNISA to do a method of teaching. That is where I was funded, and she completed that. Now, as I'm speaking, she is a part-time lecturer because she's saving a method of teaching. What I can share, which I'm always doing with my colleagues, you know what, and I've learned in the government environment, most of the civil servants, we inspire to educate our kids, and we lack a lot of funding. That is where I tell most of civil servants, from the police, from the clerks and everyone working at the civil, they can give their students education because it is provided, especially for those that are employed, through what? The study loan called Fundi. You know Fundi, if you convert the word Fundi, it says study. And then that is where I always tell them, go there, colleagues, don't enjoy the luxury now, just empower your kids with what? Equipping them with better education. You will enjoy. You know, through my studies, especially in the civil engineering, I was selected by the college where I'm working as a lecturer to accompany South African students to the war skills in Russia in 2019. That is where I experienced, we were about 67 countries. And it goes back to where I come from. From Russia, I didn't know Russia. I know the cities now. I know Qatar because we were vying through Qatar Airways. And always, after this, I always share the story to say, even if you are a village boy heading the cattle, one day you can tell people about Europe. You can go to America. Why? Especially if you get the education system or you are funding for education very well. The last thing that I wanted to do after maybe going for pension in 5 years or 10 years time, really I will go back to my young dream to have a construction company so that I can go back and develop my village.